Hi everyone, it is David and Andrew here from FTC. And in today's videos, we'll be discussing the advantages of self-managed super funds. So firstly, what is an SMSF? An SMSF is your own personal superannuation fund that gives you control over how your superannuation is invested. So looking at the advantages of an SMSF and why you might want to set one up. So the advantages of an SMSF. First off, you have control. So you get to decide on how your investments are invested and your retirement income strategies. You're not relying on a fund manager to do all the work for you. So you basically get to reap the rewards of your investments. What do you think about that, Andrew?
So when it comes to controls, if you go to an industry super fund or one of the main ones, they usually have only 4 or 5 different investment strategies, balanced, high risk, high reward, that type of thing. With SMSFs, you can really drill down into the specifics of what type of investments you're after. So say you want to buy property, you want shares, or you want gold and silver, you can specifically choose what portion of the allocation of your super fund goes to each of those investment classes, as it's completely up to you. So if you're a gold bug and you want to put more into gold than you put into shares, you completely can. If you want to put more into shares than into property, you can also have that choice. So I think control is a big one, and it's probably one of the biggest positives because you can choose exactly what you want to do. So, but it also means that if you invest the wrong way, then there also could be disadvantages as well.
Mm-hmm. For sure. More control, more power, more responsibility. And also touching on that ability to choose your investment types, you can also um, decide on the classes of investment. So if you wanted to go into more ethical products as well, that's also an option for you. So yeah. So the next advantage of an SMSF is flexibility. So you have more flexibility when it comes to your strategy in managing that SMSF. There's some examples of that includes utilizing different tax concessions to pay less tax because you don't really have that discretion when it comes to a public fund, the ability to segregate assets among members, and the ability for the SMSF to purchase certain assets directly from a member or related party, which includes listed securities and commercial property at market value. What do you think about that, Andrew?
Look, flexibility is always good, especially when it comes down to paying less tax. So with SMSF specifically, there are multiple tax concessions that are available, and if an SMSF provides that, then to me it's one of those things, a no-brainer, but definitely something to think about and to speak to an expert before you start going to these types of products.
Yep, definitely. Strategy is so important. And with strategy, you need to plan correctly as well. So make sure you engage in some good advice. So the next advantage of an SMSF is that fees are more transparent. Members know exactly what they're paying for. In contrast, public offer super funds usually operate on a percentage fee structure. So if you have a higher balance, it's probably in your best interest just to explore an SMSF from a cost perspective. So there's some guidance that was provided by the SMSF Association in the cost of operating SMSF report. And it stated that balances of 200K or more are more cost competitive compared to the APRA related sector. What do you think about that, Andrew?
And so that's 200 grand combined. So if you are a husband and wife and your balance is 100 grand each, then it's probably more cost competitive to go via the SMSF route. In saying that, 200,000 is just a guidance. There is actually no minimum balance to set up an SMSF. So if you want that flexibility, control, that freedom, and your balance is halfway there or 100, 120, you still can set up an SMSF, and it allows, well, and let's hope you make more money than you do investing with an industry fund. So if the ultimate goal is control, then the super balance should be just one of the factors that you take into considerations before you make a decision, not the only one.
Yeah. So great points there. So you don't need a minimum balance to set up an SMSF. And you can also combine your balances if you're husband or wife, if you are siblings, you're a family as well. You can actually combine your balances together to start up your SMSF and start buying assets. So the next advantage of an SMSF is portability. You can change your external service provider, such as accounting and audit, without having to change the investment structure. Any thoughts on that, Andrew?
So this is more around your external advisors that you choose. So if you decide to, if you have an SMSF and you decide to engage a financial planner, you can always change financial planners, accountants, auditors, whatever you like. And that's completely up to the trustees to make that decision. So you're not stuck with the same set of professionals that you start with. If you move into stay or you don't like the ones that you're with, you can always change.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Cool. And then the next one is asset protection. So superannuation also provides protection in the event of bankruptcy and company insolvency. So just know if you're a bankrupt member, you can't be a trustee of an SMSF because you kind of lose your powers or your benefits of becoming a director under the Corporations Act, but you can still retain your benefits, your superannuation benefits, and have those protected.
So your personal assets are completely separate to your SMSF assets as well. So if, for example, you decide to purchase a property within the SMSF and for some reason something goes wrong, your personal assets are not taken into consideration to cover the failing asset that happens as well. So everything is kept completely separate because it's a different structure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Cool. So that was basically it for the advantages of an SMSF and FTC. We can definitely help you out if you need one set up or managed. And if you do want to reach out, feel free to reach us on our website, message us on any of our social media platforms. And yeah, hopefully that helps. And stick around for the next presentation, which will look at the disadvantages of an SMSF.